respects to the Indigenous Mi'kmaq people of this territory, past, present, and future. So, as a second order of business, I'm going to ask for a motion for approval of the agenda, and I believe that we need to make some changes. So,
Yes, Your Worship, I'd like to remove items 4, 5, and 6 from the agenda.
so you'd like to move the motion to
The
do
motion that we remove item 4, 5, and 6 from the
Okay.
agenda.
Do I have a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
So I'll approve the agenda as presented without that, yeah.
Those against? Motion carried. Okay, thank you. So we'll now move to Planning, Development, and Heritage Minutes, July 5th. I'll turn it over to Councillor Burridge, Chair of Planning, Development, and Heritage.
I don't know if there's much more I can add here. Last night, the Red Meadows application for rezoning was defeated. And the rest of what's in the minutes would be what we're going to be seeing in resolutions upcoming here. So there's not much I can really elaborate on as far as the minutes are concerned.
Yeah, and I think the reason they're in here is because they weren't in the package last night, for the meeting last night. Is that correct, Mary?
No, they were.
No,
Yeah.
the minutes that are on today's agenda from the Planning, Development, Heritage Committee.
These are the same minutes that we had last night,
Oh,
or that
okay.
we talked
Just
about
wondered why
last
it's on
night.
the
So
agenda, that's all.
yeah, I guess I don't know why they're in here. They're,
Okay.
They're
All right.
there in case there's questions.
Oh, I
okay.
see.
All
Okay.
right.
In case
Okay.
there's questions.
Okay, so we've already approved those minutes last night? Or those
Well,
minutes
we
already
wouldn't
been
have
approved?
approved
Yeah,
them, but we
they're not,
reported on
for
them.
us to approve,
Yeah,
okay, sure.
yeah.
Okay, and we've removed items 4, 5, and 6 by motion. We'll now move to item number 7, Resolution P8020 and 21, and I guess that falls under planning. I'll ask Councillor Jill Burridge, who chairs the Planning and Development Heritage Committee, to present that resolution.
Number PH02021, RZ002-21, Leslie Hilton Home Occupation Text Amendment, Zoning and Development Bylaw number 45. Second reading. Whereas an application has been received from Leslie Hilton of 53 Marion Drive for an amendment to the Town of Stratford Zoning and Development Bylaw number 45 to allow for a home occupation in a semi-detached dwelling. Currently, a home occupation is only allowed in a single dwelling. And whereas a public meeting was held on June 23rd, 2021 at 6 p.m. at the Stratford Emergency Services Center. Due to the current COVID-19 gathering restrictions, this public meeting was limited to 50 people, but also live streamed for people to watch, and residents were given until June 30th, 2021 to submit their comments. And whereas, as the date of this report was written, several comments have been received from the public on this application. All in favor of the proposed amendment. Be it resolved that bylaw number 45G, a bylaw to amend the Town of Stratford Zoning and Development Bylaw, bylaw number 45, be hereby read and approved a second time. This bears the recommendation of the Planning, Development, and Heritage Committee as discussed at a meeting held on July 5th, 2021. So moved.
Do you have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, discussion. Any further discussion?
I have a comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, like in 5 years or 10 years' time, if we have a look at this resolution, it appears to be Leslie Hilton, 53 Marion Drive, is to allow for a home occupation in a semi-detached dwelling. It just looks very specific to that address and that person.
Yeah.
And throughout the body of the rest of the resolution, there's no mention that it's indeed all of the semi-detached dwellings in Stratford. So it just had a little problem with the wording, but other than that, I understand that the bylaw is coming up next with the amendment in it that I assume does not specify 53 Marion Drive.
Well, this was questioned, and Kevin can speak to this probably with more knowledge than I can, but it's because the application was made from Leslie Hilton at 53, the request for decision and the
Right,
application
yeah.
to change the.
Yes, so the request for decision, that's where her name and her
Mhm.
address should have been, but as far as this whole resolution and the bylaw change,
Yeah.
you know, just dwelling on 53 Marion the way we have been, sort of thing. Just, I just don't think it's clear.
I understand what you're saying. Kevin, did you want to elaborate any further
I
on
think
that?
even if it said to allow for home occupations in semi-detached dwellings. Tomato, tomato?
The bylaw is attached, and that
Yes.
is what the
Yeah.
action is.
Yeah, I just have a problem with this document.
The whereas in the resolution means nothing.
It
It's
means
the back-
nothing?
It's the background information.
Okay.
The be it resolved is the action, so the be it resolved is the action to approve the bylaw. And that does not mention an address, and it does not mention a name.
Yeah,
And then the bylaw.
but
then
be
is
it resolved, it
attached.
doesn't say anything. It says, be it resolved that bylaw 45G, a bylaw to amend the town of Stratford zoning and development bylaw, be hereby read and approved a second time,
Okay,
but it doesn't,
so the bylaw is attached.
yeah.
So if you want to read the bylaw, it tells you every action that's changing within the bylaw. It doesn't mention any names of
Okay.
an applicant or anything like
Yeah.
that. So that's why the bylaw is attached, so you can see exactly what the action is.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or discussion? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Okay, I believe you have a couple other resolutions to read.
I do.
Councilor Burridge?
Let's see here. Number PH 021-2021, RZ 002-21, Leslie Hilton Home Occupation Text Amendment, Zoning and Development Bylaw Number 45, Adoption. Whereas bylaw number 45G, a bylaw to amend the Town of Stratford zoning and development bylaw number 45, was read and approved first time on July 14th, 2021. Whereas bylaw number 45G, a bylaw to amend the Town of Stratford zoning and development bylaw number 45, was read and approved a second time on July 15th, 2021. And be it resolved that bylaw 45G, a bylaw to amend the Town of Stratford zoning and development bylaw number 45, be hereby adopted, and that the mayor and chief administrative officer be authorized to affix their signatures in the corporate seal of the town and to be formally declared the said bylaw passed. So moved.
Do you have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? A call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion carried. Please proceed. I think you have a few more resolutions.
Excuse me, may I ask a question, just on the bylaw number 45G? I'm sorry about that, 7A,
Mm-hmm.
2. I'm just curious why Blois Thompson's name is on the bottom of our bylaw amendment. Is that correct?
Whose name? What that?
Mm.
Is he not the minister?
Yes, so I'm just Minister of Agriculture and Land, so
Yep.
his name
He is the
belongs on there,
minister that's
okay.
responsible to sign this bylaw.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe it's.
We'll bring the province into this.
I think the problem might be he's Minister of Agriculture and Land, and he's also a Minister of Justice, so I think he would probably be signing this as the Minister of Justice. No?
No, his land,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
So when does that, does he sign this in the future, or how does
Yes.
that work? Okay,
Yes.
after our approval.
It's for his signature.
Okay. Thank you. I've just never noticed it on our,
No, neither
Town
did I.
bylaws.
Yeah, me either.
They're on the bottom of all bylaws.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, the minister that's responsible
Start.
to sign these.
okay, thank you.
thanks.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
So the question is, will this law be passed today, or is it passed when he signs?
When the minister signs.
When the minister signs, okay.
Okay, we'll turn the floor back over to Councillor Burridge for the next resolution.
Number PH 022-21, Town of Stratford 101523, PEI Inc. and Farquharson Zoning and Development Bylaw number 45. And zoning map amendments, bylaw 45H, second reading. Whereas applications have been received From SJ Murphy Planning and Consulting on behalf of the town of Stratford, Ian Dalton, 101 523 PEI Inc., Paul and Robert Farquharson, and Jane Farquharson and Doug Crossman for amendments to the town of Stratford official plan and the zoning and development bylaw number 45. And whereas the requested changes relating to the community campus properties also necessitate a text amendment to both the official plan and the zoning and development bylaw number 45 to accommodate the potential range of proposed uses, including restaurants and lounges, as secondary uses in the public service institutional zone. And whereas some of the subject area was previously located within town boundaries, resulting in a request for changes in designation and zoning for those portions, while other portions have recently been annexed into the town, requiring a process to assign new designations and new zoning. And whereas a public meeting was held on June 23rd, 2021, and due to COVID-19 gathering restrictions for this public meeting, we were limited to 50 people, but it was also live streamed for people to watch, and residents were given until June 30th, 2021 to submit their comments, and no comments were received on the proposed text amendments that were outlined by the town planner. And whereas bylaw number 45H, a bylaw to amend the town of Stratford zoning and development bylaw number 45, had received first reading at the July 14th council meeting. Be it resolved that bylaw 45H, a bylaw to amend the town of Stratford zoning and development bylaw number 45, be hereby read and approved a second time. This resolution bears the recommendation of the Planning and Development and Heritage Committee as discussed at a meeting held on July 5th, 2021. So moved.
Do I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, discussion. Just before we vote on this, I just want to say that, as I said last night, it's very historic for the town of Stratford to be at this point, to be in a position to purchase this 170 odd acres of property. It was a long and arduous process to get to this point. There were a lot of moving parts to this transaction, and I compliment everyone involved in this. I think it was perseverance and leadership and really outside the box thinking to come up with the process and the result that we're achieving here with this motion. This puts us at the town in a position to welcome a new high school and also to have the property to put all our a lot of our recreational and infrastructure in place, as well as there's space for a middle school as well, which is badly needed in this town. So with all that done, the process, I think, was really something that we learned a lot from, but it also resulted, I think, in the best piece of property that we could ask for. It allows us to expand our business park and give so much potential room for development. So I compliment everyone involved in this. So thank you very much. And I know in the room tonight we have Kevin Reynolds, who was front and center, as well as Councillor Jill Burridge, and CAO Robert Hughes, and Acting CAO Jeremy Crosby. All worked really, really hard, and I know the whole council was really engaged and worked really hard on this and gave a lot of good insight and analysis and discussion. So thank you, everyone, and my compliments to everyone. I commend you all for all the work you did on this. Any other discussion? Any other comments? Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. I believe you have one more.
Last. Number PH 02321, Town of Stratford, 101 523 PEI Inc., and Farquharson Zoning and Development Bylaw number 45, Text and Zoning Map Amendments, Adoption. Whereas Bylaw 45H, a bylaw to amend the zoning and development bylaw number 45, was given first reading and approved by council on July 14th, 2021. Whereas bylaw 45H, a bylaw to amend the zoning and development bylaw number 45, was given second reading and approved by council on July 15th, 2021. Be it resolved that bylaw 45H, a bylaw to amend the town of Stratford zoning and development bylaw, be hereby adopted, and that the mayor and chief administrative officer be authorized to affix their signatures in the corporate seal of the town thereto, and be formally declared the said bylaw passed. So moved.
Any seconder?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion carried. With that, unless there's any other business that anyone would like to bring to the table, I'll call for a motion for adjournment. We're now adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.